Okay, sorry. We're rolling. Hi.
Ha.
Puppies.
Baby,
Welcome back to
come
Should We Leave? We have an announcement to make.
We have an announcement. Oh
my God, their bellies. If anyone is just listening and not watching,
You're
we are each
missing out.
holding a puppy. Sisters.
I just can't even believe it.
So these are the puppies I fostered, or I am fostering.
From last episode.
And surprise.
I adopted one.
Yay! This is Lucy.
This is sweet little Lucy. Say hi, baby. Give a kiss.
Okay, this is your first taste of fame.
Look at
And then
how...
I'm holding Ringo. She was adopted by a gorgeous family. They're coming to get her on Saturday. But we figured we would introduce them to the pod.
And show them.
While we have them. They're both so...
You guys. Look at the paws. Look at Ringo's paws.
Believable. Ringo's
dying.
covered in food, too, because she eats just like a crazy person. Oh. Look at these bellies. They're looking at each other like, what's going on? This week on Should We Leave?
We discussed 10 things we've both learned since moving to NYC and being in our 30s.
Daniel introduces the third host of our show.
And Louisa finally accepts not everyone is going to like her, but most people should.
And most people should think I'm funny and perfect.
All that and much more Pink Couch Chit Chat on episode 10 of Should We Leave? Well, welcome to episode 10 of Should We Leave?
To episode 10 with 2 puppies. Cute. Oh my God, a puppy is healing. Look at this.
Just feel this. We're just going to take a moment and take a breath and just breathe deep. And hold. And breathe out. I just want them.
They're just perfect. You said last week you were maybe what if I want to adopt one of them?
And we did.
Do you think you knew deep down you wanted to?
I just thought it was it feels like a crazy coincidence.
Yeah.
But it just also felt right at the same time because I was you were fostering them. So there was that personal connection. They were so cute. They were rescues.
Yeah. Come on.
Can you believe? They're looking into the light.
They're looking around welcome to Hollywood.
You made it, baby.
I mean, they're just, it's stupid. They look like little baby bears.
They do look like little baby bears, and that was one of the name options. But
I love
we went with Lucy because of I love Lucy.
Lucille Ball.
Okay, girl.
Oh, okay. I think we should
take them
away.
Foster a dog, adopt a rescue.
Ringo will be gone next time, but Lucy's here to stay. So get used to that little face.
Lucy will be now a permanent fixture on the couch.
Totally.
And we'll see what Copper has to say about it. TBD.
When he gets back from his retreat
when he gets back
New
from
Hampshire.
his Vermont vacation. He's been up there
in
skiing.
Rehab. Yeah. He's doing a rehab program.
No, he's just with his other parents.
Okay, I'm actually so obsessed. We need to put
we're going to take a quick break, but welcome to episode 10. We're excited you're here. Like and subscribe. Look at these puppies. All right, see you in a second.
Okay, Daniel's getting everything set up, but I've been sick recently, and when you are sick, you look back at I'm mansplaining what being sick is. Okay, when you're sick and you look back and at being healthy and you're I just miss that so much. That was the best. So we have our first little collab. Our dear friend Casey has a brand called Loose Change New York.
We should take these live on air.
We vomit.
Because
I'm just kidding.
I haven't tried one of these yet. This is the fresh shot. It says
immunity.
Maybe not the shot you want, but it's the shot you need. Help boost your immune system and kickstart digestion.
And listen, I'm sick. I've been sick as hell. And look at these cute juices too. We'll drink these.
The orange one is literally my favorite. It's so yum.
You can find them on Instagram, Loose Change.
NY.
Right?
Let's just triple check.
I think so. We'll tag. Dude, I'm in a juice phase too right now. I'm really into juice. I want to, should we take these?
Okay, we'll do these live.
This is a ginger.
For wellness,
oh boy, okay.
Because Louisa has been sick. We're actually filming and recording this pod a lot later than we normally do.
I know.
But it's because of like dogs and sickness.
Dogs and puppies and sickness. Bro, over
life.
the weekend, listen to this. Over the weekend, I had the flu and I was a mother of 3.
You were.
I'm sorry. I was like, how did I get here?
But a newborn mother of 3.
A newborn mother of 3 twins.
Twins. No, for real.
It was like having a toddler
Louisa
and twins.
was Stevie
Twin
and I's
babies.
surrogate.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. I was like, I literally feel like I carried your child.
And we took it home yesterday.
And
oh my God.
You took it home yesterday, and it's just like...
I know, it was like, I felt like I was stealing from you. I'm like, sorry, this is my
I'm
dog
like, I'm
now.
gonna miss, yeah, like right now, I'm like, well, I guess it's like your dog now. I'm like, well, she might pee. Because Daniel put her on the couch, and I was like, oh, she might like pee. And then I was like, oh, this is your couch and your dog. I'm not like taking responsibility anymore.
And thankfully, this couch is washable.
Yeah, very true. We love this couch.
Okay,
that's
this
so
is-
exciting that you have a dog
know.
now.
It's really,
More
honestly,
updates to come. Yeah.
like you just said earlier, it is healing.
No, yeah.
And okay, so with Copper, I wasn't really his like trainer, upbringer. Like
It's
that
different.
it's like, so this is like actually like
No,
my
it's different.
second-ish time doing it, first time doing it. And I thought that I would get so annoyed at like the cries at nighttime, but I was actually just like, my baby.
Baby.
She needs to go tinkle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she was sleeping in her little crate. We're starting to do crate training next to us, and we have her. She has her own little Alexa, and she's like,
God.
we're playing the music, and so now Stevie and I are falling asleep to puppy
To
relax.
music. Yeah. Relax my dog.
Relax my dog.
Oh, it's the
and
best.
She just was like, meow, meow, meow. And
Yeah.
now they're
It's the best. There's something about like raising your own dog from like being the one, because I've only ever had like dogs with my parents, and we wouldn't like
Yeah.
do anything. My dad did everything.
Right.
But there's something about your like real f***ing baby dog that is yours. And
Yeah.
you raise them. It's just like the best thing.
so
It's the best.
cute.
I'm
and
so
she
happy.
just like smells like a cute.
Oh my God, puppy breath too.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's do this. This is not going to be good.
It's not going to be
I
good,
think
but
you
it's
should get a water.
advertised as not good. It says maybe not the shot you want, but the shot you need. Help boost your immune system and kickstart digestion.
It's legit.
Oh, proceeds help fund community projects in neighborhoods across New York City. So,
Oh yeah, Casey does all sorts of like community gardens, community outreach, and all this stuff. And like, this is, I remember when he started this, and we were like trialing some of his flavors and stuff. And like the orange carrot one is my absolute favorite. Like I could drink a gallon of it.
I love the little bottles.
I already
too.
had one before she got here. Okay, we're gonna try this. This might be funny or not funny, but it's gonna. Wait, cheers
Are
to
you gonna do
new.
it in one shot?
I'm.
Are you ripping it?
I'm ripping it.
Get the logo out there.
Look at these cute little things. You can save them for later.
Okay.
Okay, this is gonna be bad.
You're gonna rip it.
What if should I just do a little sample first?
I might just rip like half of it.
I'm gonna rip half.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Not as bad as I was expecting. I almost got the whole thing.
I'm gonna rip the rest. Oh,
Wait. I've had way,
Way
worse
worse.
ginger shots.
wait, it's ginger.
Wait, that was really good. I've had ones that make me like vomit. Oh, that was not bad at all. And this bottle looks way bigger than it is. I thought I was going to look up and have taken half. I took almost most of it.
You did.
Oh my gosh, cool. Loose change. NY. Baby. I'm healed.
You are. I'm
Yeah,
so
I actually
happy
feel
you're
like
better.
I did need that, yeah.
I'm so happy you're better. But yeah, let's get into episode 10.
10.
So episode 10, like how fucking wild that we're at episode 10. Like we started this.
And like
It's-
only...
I'm like talking like it's the 50th year anniversary
yeah,
of SNL.
yeah, this is like SNL 50th year.
We're bringing in all our guests,
All the alumni.
It's literally us. Like, but honestly, like looking back at it from when we first started,
for
just
little
right
old
over
us,
here on our
yeah.
Nokia phone, to I mean, that was like basically 10 weeks ago.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was. And we've basically put out like we're in the 80s for how many videos
of content
and posts we've put out. Like, we have been pumping out content.
And it's just us.
Like, we don't have it. I know you guys think like, wow, they look so good. They must have a makeup, hair, edit team. Like, it's just us. We do it all. I'm just kidding. I'm ugly, but no, but yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. But
and
it's fun.
It's gonna start catching on, and it's gonna you guys who are here right now
got in on the ground floor.
My aunt who's listening, Auntie.
Yeah.
You got in the ground floor, and when we get rich and famous, you're gonna be the first one on the jet.
Yeah. We'll remember.
We remember who's here.
We said that. I mean, honestly, we started and we kicked off with our 34 followers, and now we're like, I think the last
we're
808.
Gonna hit 1,000 soon.
I think 1,000.
Yeah, and then it's from there. It's just like thousands.
Thousands.
Then you're gonna just I'm like feel really good about it.
It's literally just all about consistency and just like staying true to yourself.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I've never been consistent once in my life.
Okay.
One time in my life, I've never been consistent. Like, I don't know how.
This is your first experience with consistency. Happening. Also, I feel like we're so much closer this
Are
episode
we?
because it's episode 10.
It's because I birthed your child.
You legit did. Oh my God. And we're going to get to watch her grow up on the pod.
I'm like sick over it.
I'm just like imagining like 10 episodes from now, like where we'll be. Like,
rich
it's just going to be so...
and famous. I'm just kidding.
It's going to be so cool. If anything, one of the things that I've learned doing this is just being consistent about something, even when it's like hard to do, or you just showing up and doing it, it really will... I truly believe that it will pay off.
No, I do too.
It's such a lot of work, but it's like...
But the work is good.
We're like doing our own little fun creative moment on the side.
It's like, I want to just do this. It makes me really excited to someday just make my own content, and that's it.
I know. I was honestly thinking about that too. My friend last night, my friend Gary last night was asking me like how my full-time job was going, because like we've been putting out so much content. And I was like, well, honestly, the job that I'm in now has given me the space to like the boundary.
That's what I always say about my day job.
Right.
I always say my job is great. What I love about it is that it allows me to get a steady paycheck and do my other shit.
Yeah. I have aspirations of like growing with this company.
Yeah, I do too.
Which is a little bit different. Mm-hmm.
It's different.
But what I'm trying to say is like, even though work, my normal full-time job, can be really busy, I still feel that reminds me of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. There's a housewife on that. She can't say feel. She always says Phil.
Oh, I feel like a lot of people do say Phil.
I still
fell. Still feel.
I still feel like I have the creative bandwidth to put into this, and you know, all this video editing and all this stuff is not a part of my other job. So it is cool. But
it's like you do have time. When you like doing something, you'll make time for it. And like, you do have time. I'll be like sitting on my ass for 7 years and be like, I'm so busy. But like, I'm like, when would I ever have time to get anything done? But I'm just sitting there. Yeah. When it's something you enjoy, like you enjoy getting it done. I don't know.
Oh my God. And I genuinely laugh out loud at some of our breakouts that we make. Too. I'm like, okay, what's the one that what's the one we just posted two days ago? The yacht one.
Oh, the yacht.
That one sent me to another planet. Like
that sent me to the moon. You had tears in your eyes.
I was laughing so hard, and also laughing. Go ahead.
Yeah, you texted me. He texted me a screenshot of me being like, and said, if I ever send you this, it means I desperately need to be on a yacht.
I need it. So I think for this episode, we wanted to do 10 important lessons that we've learned since turning 30, or
like something you tell your younger self.
Yeah.
You know how there's a trend that's like, I got coffee with my younger self, and like she was late, and like
she was late.
This is us getting coffee with our younger selves and telling them 5 things each that we have learned.
Okay, so how do you want to do it? Do you want me to just go?
You go. Yeah, rip it.
Like, look at this. Okay. So speaking of rip it, also we have our notes today. My first one is literally just says, truly just f***ing rip it.
In what way?
And I said, f***ing just be yourself and rip it.
Like
rip, ride, rock it.
Rip, rock and roll.
And what I mean by that is I've spent so much time wondering what if, and I want to do that, and scared of what other people may think. And now in your 30s, a lot of those, now that I'm in my 30s and have gone through a lot of different experiences, a lot of those voices kind of settle down. And it's just like, rip it.
Like, rip it.
Just-
That's been one of my biggest lessons,
Yeah.
too. I didn't write that down, but, like, rip it. People will message me and be like, I really want to do stand-up. Like, how do I get started? Just rip it. Find an open mic and get on stage. There's no other way to do it.
Right. And
like,
it's just
besides doing it. The only way to do it is to do it.
and that's literally how we started this. We've been talking about this for so long, and I always wanted it to be like this perfect thing, and we're gonna have all these segments figured out, and we got to plan out the episodes. And then we were just like, you know what? Come over before we see Wicked, and we're just going to rip it and just like see the vibe, see how it goes, and then you just start.
Just do it.
Literally,
There's so many things in life that you could relate that to, and like we're just getting older,
but we're just getting started.
just like start what you want to do, start your things you want to do.
It's never going to be a perfect time, place. No. Just start.
That's also the same thing about like getting a puppy. Even you're like, I don't feel ready. I don't know if we're ready for this. I don't know if we're ready. You're not gonna like ever be. It's like people having kids. You're never gonna be like, oh, I'm so ready for this, and like this is the time. You just do it, and then you figure it out. That moment. Yeah, you figure it out. I got a dog by myself when I was 28, and I just figured it out.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost you want to put yourself in those situations to an extent because of how you will grow and become better outside of it. Like, I'm going to try something new. Like, worst case scenario, if this podcast never becomes anything, I will have learned so much about myself.
Oh my God, yeah.
And like
had so much fun
and like made so many memories with you.
Yes.
Got a fucking dog. Like, all these different things could come out of it.
It's already been worth it.
Right. And even if you look at it like worst case scenario, if that's what I'm left with, like, I'm happy with that.
Right. Yeah.
Rip it.
Rip it to death. Mine is like, you better like yourself.
You better like yourself.
You have to like yourself. And I don't mean like love yourself. I don't mean like love your body and like love yourself. Like, you're going to fucking hate yourself sometimes, but you better like yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be... That's like my favorite thing about me is that I like myself so much. Like, I'm so fun.
Yeah.
I love hanging out with just myself. Like, in the end, you just really do only have you, and you have to like that person. So if you don't like to be alone with your thoughts and alone with yourself,
oh, it's terrible.
You got
place.
a problem. Yeah, because there's nothing better to me than being like, I have no plans. I'm going to like sit at home, take an edible, do my own thing, giggle with myself. Like, I make myself laugh. I'm like, it's like date yourself first before you can like be with another person. Because I know so many people who have been in relationships for like literally at this point, 15 years, like so long,
100 years.
100 years. And it's like, if that relationship, God forbid, ever ends, like, who are you?
Right.
Who are you? Like, I just think...
I love my own company.
I love my own company. Yeah, like, love your own company is my biggest thing.
I love being alone.
I love to be alone. And I used to be afraid of being alone, I think, because I was like, oh, I'm, like, depressed. And what if I, like, get depressed and can't do it? You just, like, learn to be your own, like, medicine, I guess, or your own, like, you just you just rise to the occasion, and you're still gonna hate yourself sometimes. Like, you don't have to like love everything about you, but you should like you the way that you like your best friends.
That brings me, I saw this quote where it's like the voices in your head are the house that you live in.
Ooh.
Basically, like how you speak to yourself about yourself, what you tell, like what stories you tell about yourself.
Yeah, like
what other stories you make up in your head about what other people think or whatever. We only have like this.
I know.
This
and there
is
have
such
been
an
times where
intense
like
podcast.
there have been times where I know. There are times where this has been a f***ing haunted mansion.
Right, haunted
but
mansion.
You don't that's on me. Like, right? You don't have to do that.
And it takes a lot of there's a lot of like tools and skills that you have to have to like be able to navigate your own fucking mind.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
And like, I don't know about you, but I will start telling myself just the most insane stories about why this person is this way or doesn't like this or did this, and I'm like,
and that person that person doesn't even know who you are.
Doesn't know who I am. Hasn't talked to me in forever. Like,
it's insane.
Like what?
Yeah.
And then you get mad. Then you upset yourself.
Here's the thing. It's like here's another like lesson. I didn't write this down, but nobody is thinking about you as much as you think they are.
No one's thinking about you. No one's thinking about you.
Nobody's thinking about you. You don't matter. Like, no, you do matter, but nobody's like thinking about you.
When you're walking around and you're thinking like,
I'm like, everyone's thinking about that thing I said,
everyone's thinking about the wrinkle I have on the back of my shirt. I have a little stain at the bottom of my pants. Like these shoes don't really fit right.
They're walking around saying, everyone's thinking about the wrinkle on my shirt. Like they're thinking
everyone is their own main character.
About them. And like, nobody's thinking about. Like that's such a
if you can just shake
freeing thing.
Number 3 is kind of what you said. I said make yourself your number one priority.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I let what everyone else thought of me and how I showed up to whatever friend group or situation I was in, and like based what they thought about that. That's how I like showed up. Basically, then you start being more selfish in the sense of making yourself and your health and your mental health your number one priority, which it should be to begin with because it's you.
Yeah.
And, there's obviously a balance, but then people become unaccustomed to that new version of you. And how my therapist described it is it's like a software update. There will be some people who are ready to download the software update and just get on board with it.
Yeah.
And there are other people who are still using an old version of the operating system who it butts heads. Like they don't know who this new person is, and it's really hard for them to get on board with it. And so they won't download that software. And so then it's now gone like this.
Yeah.
I don't know if some people's devices are capable of updating their software.
Well, yeah, but don't you think then in that case that means like you've kind of outgrown them?
Right.
A little bit?
Friends come in seasons.
Yeah.
Friendships come in seasons. And like seasons, they might come back around, but also they might not because you've moved to a different location. For instance, like I've moved from Florida to New York, and so now I have a winter season. In Florida, they don't have a winter season. So that season's never going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
But it's what I'm trying to get at is that it's okay.
Yeah.
Like for a long time, I felt really bad. Like
guilty almost.
Guilty, but then you can't feel guilty because it's like you're making the best decision for yourself. And it's just like people just start vibrating on different frequencies and people grow apart and words are shared or words are not shared, and it's okay.
Yeah. Completely fine. And I kind of love that.
And there's also like no hard feelings.
That's what I was just going to say. I love that. Like also there can be this mutual respect of like, okay, I don't have any hard feelings. We are just moving in two different directions, and that's totally fine.
People just grow apart. That's okay.
Yeah. I think you're saying like prioritize yourself, and whatever changes in your relationships happen from that prioritization is okay.
Right.
Number 4. Number 4, your first few jobs that you have are not like who you are going to be.
Right.
Like my first few jobs in New York, like I've done so much. I think like you graduate from college and you're like, my first job out of college has to be like amazing and I want to do the right thing. Like I was working at SoulCycle. I was wiping shit and sweat off the bikes and then like trying to get someone in film to notice me. Like it's not, you have so long to get to where you want to go. And it's what I wish I knew, or not what I wish I knew, but what I think is so interesting is when I look back at my career, all the random jobs I had and all the random things I did were like, okay, let's say SoulCycle, random as not related to comedy, not related to film, not related to anything that I do. But like I'll have met someone at that job that connected me to someone who got me here and who got, it's like everything's a stepping stone. Like I work with all these young people who are so like in their jobs and they're like, this is so who I am and this is like a big part of my identity. It's like not, you know? You're going to move around and change. And I would hate to have been someone who got a job out of college and stayed at that job for 10 years. You know, I've moved around so much and I'm so glad for that. Just like be okay with the changes and like being able to move around and know that you're young and you're not supposed to have, like when I didn't get the NBC Page program,
Yeah.
devastated.
Right
out of college, I got like third round interview, fourth round interview. Like I knew, I mean,
You're like, I got it.
I knew like this, I have a very strong connection there and I still didn't get it. Like I'm a
Damn.
Nepo baby there and I still didn't get it. And it made me feel like shit.
Oh
And
my
I was like,
God.
I'm never going to be a comedian. I'm never going to be this and that. Like, but then I was like, there's another path. Like that's not the one path that there is. Rejection is redirection, I think.
100%. Build your identity outside of your career. When something goes wrong, you'll be okay.
Right. It's like liking yourself.
Right. All of these ones are everything's connected.
Everything's connected. Like, what's that game you play at arcades that's like the ball goes...
Pinball?
Pinball. I picture it like pinball. Like, the things that are not meant for you are going to come and push you this way, and then something's going to come and push you that way, and, like, you just can't... You have to just float down the river and, like, let that happen.
And you can really see that in your time in New York. Like, I can see that too. Like, I, like, look back and I'm like, I've lived so many lives, but all of those have led me to here.
Yeah.
And I really am happy with who I am and what I'm doing right now.
Enjoy the like little shitty jobs that you have on your way to where you're getting.
And that leads me to my next one perfectly.
Number 5.
5?
Yeah.
Be fucking present.
Ooh.
And
I'm bad at that.
I'm so
bad
at
that.
it. So bad at it. And
I'm always somewhere else.
I'm on a yacht in my head.
Like I'm on a yacht in Greece.
I'm on a yacht in Greece in my brain. Like, how do I fucking get there?
I don't even want to, like, I'm triggered.
I don't want to cry again about it.
No, I don't want to cry.
But, and this is funny because as I'm saying all these things, it's so funny because I feel like all of them are so very cliche, and everyone tells you this when you're like in your 20s and you're like, you just don't, it doesn't click. It doesn't really click. And like something happens when you like get into your 30s and start like getting like a little bit settled, and then you see these phrases again and these like, you know, mantras and be present and love yourself and all of this stuff. And it like, oh yeah, that does really make sense now.
Yeah.
Like that makes so much sense because with the be fucking present, this is crazy. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Today is an actual whole ass day of our life.
I know.
Like this is a full day.
And I'm like, I can't wait to go to bed.
And it's literally like,
so
we're
fucked
always
up.
wishing it to be at the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're always preparing for the next thing, or what am I going to do here?
You're
that
so
we
right. It's like
don't
creepy.
realize like, okay, let's just rest. Like we're doing the podcast right now.
Yeah.
We're enjoying this moment,
So
but like
true.
like
It's
being
like
present right here and right now is like, and it's going to be, I don't know. I just think about that too. I try to do that with Stevie. Like,
it's like the saying, the way that you spend your days is the way you spend your life.
yes.
Like your days add up to be your life. So like instead of sitting here and being like, okay, well the dog is going to get picked up on Saturday morning and then I'm going to go see my friends from college and that's going to be so fun. And then I come back and do that. It's like, oh no, I'm like sitting here with one of my best friends just like yapping. And like that's so special.
It is. And if you can pull yourself out of it for like 3.5 seconds and realize like, okay, this is my life right now. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like I'm making this podcast. I'm having a wonderful conversation with you.
Yeah.
I got a gorgeous puppy yesterday. Like,
yeah,
it's
awesome.
I am such a like, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
How do I prepare for the next thing? Like, how do I like?
I'm kind of the opposite where I'm always thinking about what I just had. I'm always thinking like, I really miss what I just had. I really miss my last apartment. This new apartment's not going to be the same because I miss what I had before. I'm always like looking back and not looking forward. I'm always looking back of like,
well, maybe meet in the middle and be present.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
A lot of times I get caught up thinking like this magical, perfect life that I have in my head will happen one day. And then if you miss the rest of your life leading up to it, and that day is never going to come. Enjoy this very moment and make it what you want.
Because it's
love
happening.
it for what it is because it's happening.
It's happening right now.
When I drive Stevie to work, I try to think of like, this is a special time. Like I'm with, you know, the love of my life. I'm driving him to work. Like this is a moment. And then you think about like, okay, 20 years from now, we're going to look different. We're going to be different.
Yeah.
Lucy's going to be old as hell. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be.
I know.
So it's
I
just
hate
like,
that.
it's just kind of crazy, but never getting younger. Like this is a moment and just like enjoy every single thing and try not to get caught up with what's next.
Yeah.
Obviously, like be prepared, like put money in savings and all this stuff. Like a lot of like there was a time where I was just like reckless abandon.
Rip
like
it.
I'm not going to be here tomorrow.
Rip
like
it.
why not
Yeah.
max out this credit card?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So be fucking present.
Be present. I love that. Okay. Number 6, and this is especially like recently, I'm realizing this is you cannot fight every battle. We are in like your personal life and in like global fucking
This one's good.
disaster. You cannot fight every battle. And my friend Ava and I talk about this all the time because you can't, everything is bad. Everything that's happening in the world right now is bad, pretty much. You can't fight every battle. You can't do it all. So I recommend what's helped me is pick like a few things that you're really passionate about and make a small difference in those worlds.
100%.
So for me, like getting really into like animal rights, like activism has been really awesome because that's like my thing that I really care about. And I will like fight for that. And I've started fostering and I've started changing the way that I eat. And I change like, you know, the way that I think about animals and whatever. And that's been a great thing. Pick like one issue and you can obviously have strong opinions about everything, but you can't make every battle your personal battle that you are going to fight.
Yeah, you can't. You literally just have to like tap in, tap out. This is what I can do. This is how I can make a difference today.
Yeah.
In this little space.
Yeah.
And it's difficult because you feel like there's so much happening in the world that you feel like I have to have a voice. I need to say
You can't have a
this.
voice
And it's just,
everywhere.
like, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's like so tricky because then people who are standing up for other things would be like, why aren't you saying anything about this?
Yeah, it's like I can't do it all. I can't do it all. I can have the opinions and I can do what I can, but ultimately like you need to relieve yourself of the feeling of
Pressure.
Of like I need to fix everything.
Yeah.
You can't, and you're not going to. Also, what I was saying is become an expert in a few things, so you really know what you're talking about. You can't.
It's also like
do
you
it
don't
all.
necessarily have to do all of that publicly either. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to tell everyone that you're fostering these dogs, and like you could be fostering these dogs for you. No one ever knows. Like
I could have an old woman in my house that I feed lunch to every day, and nobody knows. Like
because you're helping.
Because like you don't need to always get your flowers for stuff. I guess.
Right.
Like is what you're saying. It's so true. Like when something
Just
happens
because you're
and
not
people are
posting
like,
it doesn't mean you're not doing it.
Exactly.
And number 7 kind of goes with this too. Is like needing to have it all figured out is a lie.
Oh yeah, I gave up on that.
Like I wrote down, I am fortunate enough, and I hope you are too, to have the ability and freedom to create your own reality. You're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of like pressure from older generations like my mom and etc. to be like, well, you're 30. So when you're 30, you're supposed to be married with kids.
Down payment on a house,
in
car.
a suburb with this and that. And that's equals happiness. So like my mom is genuinely
No.
will not be happy until I have those things because she thinks that that's what happiness is.
Because that's what was put on her.
But for me, like I actually like really like my life. And if I were to die right now, I would be like,
I would be
sad.
sad.
I'd be sad, but I would be like, I was doing exactly what I wanted. I'd be dead. I don't know if I'd be sad because I'd be dead and we don't know what that means.
Oh my God.
But you don't need to have it all figured out. I'm just like letting it happen the way that it should and like whatever. My 8 was that not everybody's going to love you. And that's really hard for me to understand because why wouldn't you love me? Like, I don't get it. I'm perfect.
What
and
are
like
you, what are
funny
you
and
thinking?
cool and like I just don't get it. But
I don't get it
that's
either.
tough for me because I want everyone to love me, and it's like the people pleasing thing where I'll blame shit on myself that has like nothing to do with me. People being unhappy at work, I'm like, well, it's my fault because I said that this was a good company and then they came here because of that. It's like everybody makes their own decision. Not everybody's gonna love you, and like I have learned that the only way I've had success in comedy and life is just like putting my out there and like I think it's funny and someone else is going to think it's funny and not everyone's going to ever think you're funny. You're not going to get everyone to laugh.
Been such a good exercise for me too with this podcast is just like ripping it. I'm just going to, here you go.
Not everybody's going to love it.
Like it, and this is my art and a version of it, and there you go. And like if you want to like it, great, and if not,
then it's not for you.
That's not for you.
Yeah.
And it's like, no skin off my back.
Yeah, I don't care.
Like, I'm having a good time, and it's just because, remember, when we first started this, I was getting upset. Like,
yeah.
why aren't these people liking it? Why does it not have...
so-and-so reached out?
But it's like, that's about them, and it's not about me.
Yeah.
This is a note that I had written down, but like, choosing people who aren't choosing you. And convincing yourself that they were choosing you.
Yeah.
And the people pleasing tendencies, it's like you keep showing up for someone who, and you were making them a priority, but they weren't making you a priority.
And you can see it so clearly from the outside. Like if you see a friend who's doing that, you can see it. But if you are the friend doing that, you're like, you can't see clearly that they're not prioritizing you unless you like really take a step back and like look at it. It's
hard.
But yeah, it's hard. And it's hard to be like, not everybody's going to think I'm funny and not everyone's going to like me. And not everybody's going
why
to...
Why don't people, all of us...
Well, like I always try to like crack someone. I'm like, I don't get why this person doesn't laugh at my jokes. Like, why doesn't this person think I'm funny? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I'll just like keep being like, well, what about this? What about this? And it's like, oh no, at a certain point, like this person just isn't my person and they don't get my sense of humor and they don't think I'm funny. And guess what? I don't think they're funny. So it's like, whatever.
And you're ugly.
And they're ugly.
I used to think about this with dating. Why aren't they proposing right now? Like, I'm the best person that they will ever fucking meet. Why don't they like that? Like, what do you mean? Like, but how I think about it is like a puzzle piece. There's a puzzle piece out there for everybody that's going to fit in like so great.
I saw yesterday a girl that I'm friends with posted like a meme or like a drawing about this, and it was like these two really simple puzzle pieces sitting on the couch. Like, did you find your perfect match yet? Talking to a puzzle piece that's like so intricate and has all these like swirls and whatever. And it's like, well, no, I haven't, because
when those two puzzle pieces, you can't like force them to fit together. And so it's kind of like with someone like, I don't think you're funny. It's because their outline is just different.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean,
it's not about me.
They're probably wrong, but it doesn't mean that. It's just so interesting learning that, because when you're younger, you think that everyone needs to be for you. You're for everybody.
You're not for everyone. You're not everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine.
That's so fine. And I'm like happy about that now.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Before it used to be so hard.
Now it's like weed them out. Weed out.
Get the out.
Whoever is not my cup of tea, like weed them out. It's like be yourself up front, and then you don't have to deal with.
And all the cool Kalanis can stay.
All the Kalanis can stay.
Number 9.
If your apartment is a space that you love to be in, you will love your life more. That's not how I wrote it. I said, if your space in if your apartment and the place that you live is a space you love to be in and it's cozy and it reflects your personality, you will have a better life.
And inspiration abounds.
Inspiration abounds. Like,
who am I? Why did I say that?
I have no idea. But it's like, when I moved into my new apartment, by myself for the first time, I was like, oh my God, this is like a blank canvas that every apartment I've lived in, I've always really put a lot of emphasis on like making it cozy and making it. Yeah.
I haven't.
Oh, I always have.
This is the first apartment where I've like, let me make this my own.
Well, that's the difference, is I always had roommates. But I would like try to make it cozy and I would do what I could. But with this apartment, it's like, oh, I don't have to ask anyone's permission for anything. If I want pink tiles in the kitchen, I'm going to get pink motherfucking tiles in the kitchen. And it makes me happy. And I love to be at home and I love to come home. Like, make your space somewhere that you love to be.
Because it's your space.
Oh, it's the best.
For the longest time, I would be like, I'm not buying this place. I'm not going to live here forever. Why am I spending all this time, energy, and money and effort?
That's not the way to think of it.
And then now I'm in a position and point where it's just like,
well, it's like, be present.
I'm going to just rip it.
The way you spend your days is the way you spend your life. Yeah.
Why? I'm going to paint the walls turquoise and blue and green and get a pink couch and all this stuff. And like every time I'm like walk into this room, I always feel like happy and joyful. Like, this is my cute little cozy space. Yeah. Like, I love this. And like, I agree.
I love it.
Number 10. A lot of times fear is what runs you. Mm-hmm. And what drives you. Fear is what drives you. And I think that there's also like a brave and courageous part of you that you should let
control
take the wheel.
Control board, like Inside Out. Inside Out.
Literally, like Inside Out.
Let bravery take a chance.
Let the cutie bravery girl.
Let her take a chance.
Take grab the wheel.
If I think about all the things I've done that I would never have done if I had let fear get the best of me, like I would never have done anything that I'm proud of.
And you're good at that, I think.
That I've done. And
I think that you're very brave. And I think that you're very courageous,
so
like in your life and the decisions that you make to do. And a lot of that is like you showing up and putting yourself out there. And I think that it kind of just goes back to the first one. Just fucking rip it.
Back, just rip it. That's the real message is like,
just fucking rip it.
Rip it.
Maybe that's the title of this.
Like, honestly.
10 reasons to fucking
10
rip
reasons
it.
to rip it. Honestly.
So.
And I think that like the older we get, we have to just keep ripping it because someday we're going to be 40 and we'll be like, what are 10 things you've learned since turning 40? And it's like, I should have ripped it even harder than I did.
Right.
Like, just rip it.
Rip it. Give yourself grace. Also rip it.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Nothing changes if nothing changes, and everything is changing always.
Yeah. Whoa. Well, damn.
And maybe we ended on that.
Yeah.
And so.
That was like a deep episode.
A deep episode,
Deeper,
but a good episode. Good. We love a little deep episode here and there.
We love a moment.
And let's get the puppies and sign off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will you pass me one? Hi, babies. Hi, girls.
Lucy, come here, baby girl.
Oh, my God.
And thank you so much for listening to episode 10 of Should We Leave. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Would love to have you over on YouTube. Give us 5 stars on Spotify if you haven't, and on Apple Music.
And like our videos and shit on Instagram.
Yeah, why not? It's free.
And why not? Just rip it.
And, feel free to jump into our DMs. And
I'm going to put this puppy in my mouth. I don't know how else to tell you. Like, oh.
Feel free to, we also want to hear what you guys think and any suggestions you might have. And if it's to stop.
If it's to stop, well, so be it.
Well,
and
so
we're
be
not
it.
For everyone.
And we're not for
everyone's
everybody.
Cup of tea.
All right.
And on that note, we'll see you next time.
Bye. Oh, gone right at the end.
Oh, she went. Oh.